So we've got Beke and Sue from the African Mothers Foundation here today, and I'm just going to ask them some questions about why they think the education of girls is really important, particularly in relation to menstrual hygiene. So ladies, could you tell us why you think this issue is important today?
Do I take that or you
Yeah.
take that? Okay. It's important because for us at African Mothers Foundation, we've got two specific campaigns, one for keeping girls in school and then the other one for restoring dignity, which is the one that we're working with you. So it's important for us because we want the girls to continue going to school without losing any lessons. So having them being empowered to have sanitary pads that they can make themselves, that they can reuse, will be good. It reduces absenteeism. It's good for their hygiene. It's good. I talked about dignity. It's taboo to talk about menstrual periods in Africa. I remember when I was growing up myself as well, if you don't have the pads or if they are soaked, if you bleed heavily, your dress is soaked, it can be very embarrassing. Children tease each other, they laugh at each other. So having such a project, from my own experience, I was in a boarding school, you always were taunted about either some girls, either the smell, they don't know how to clean themselves, how to keep themselves clean. So it's good to provide girls with education about the hygiene, of how to keep themselves, how to look after themselves when they are going through the cycle, and give them information. Because for my own daughter, she started her menstruals when I was living here in the UK studying. I went back to Zimbabwe on holiday. She couldn't feel free to talk to me. She talked to my sister. But if we can, because I had not been there, I couldn't provide her with that education. So if we can catch them young and start providing them with education about what is menstrual cycle, what, how do they keep it, how do they look after themselves, then also bringing the sexual education into it, would be good.
Okay. And Becky, what about you? Do you have personal experiences of this issue growing up in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, as an ex-village girl, I can put it that way. We grow up using, dirty rags. Sometimes you can go out without. And I remember at the time, I was one of those queens who knew how to design a sanitary towel. Can you imagine? But
what is a sand?
You just go to the sand pits, where the river is, and take a pit sand, and then we had these white rugs and then a plastic maize meal paper. You put it so that it can protect you. But the infection that you get, but we have no choice. We didn't know even what to do. So when I met you in Swansea and saw what you're doing, I just visited. My years of experience growing up as a village girl, not having a sanitary towel, let alone a meal. So for me, it's very important as a woman, number one, and to give back to other girls and give them a chance to be safe and live a life, experience the life that their mothers did not experience. I think we are welcome. I think I am just speaking on behalf of all the girls in Sub-Saharan Africa. I say I rise. Please, people, support them. Donate and donate. They means well to us. They are the people who are restoring sustainability in Africa. It's fine to give people disposable ones, but we need a fishing rod. A disposable sanitary towel is just a fish. If you give me a fish, I'll eat for a day. But if you give me a fishing rod, I'll fish for the rest of my life. So I rise with you. I stick with you till I die.
What about education? When you were growing up, did you feel that there was a lack of education about periods?
Yeah.
And was that a problem for
Because
you?
I remember when I started menstruating, I didn't even tell my mom. Because I started when I was 18 years. I didn't even tell my mom. I didn't even know what to do. I thought maybe I had a wound. Because we're not told at school. That time it was a taboo in school to talk about menstruation because people just come to conclusion that it's sexually, But now, this is a chance to talk to the girls, to teach them there's HIV and AIDS now. So all these we have to put everything in perspective. It's not only periods. No. We have to teach them how to live as women. And if they're given these tools, sanitary towels, they will be able to know that, you know, if I get to know how to design these sanitary towels, I won't be embarrassed for the rest of my life. And as well, it will bring income to them. They won't be able to go around for for handouts. No.
And you said it used to be quite taboo, or it is still quite taboo. Why do you think that is? Are there particular beliefs about menstruation that mean that it's very difficult for communities to talk about it? Why do you think that's a
Especially in
problem?
Africa, you know, our cultures are different, but there are some regions that people can talk openly about that. But when you go down to the villages, we've got that culture. We do respect men and women. So, but now I think everybody knows about HIV and AIDS. So people, they are open about what is going on and what are we supposed to do and what are we not supposed to do. So I think what you are doing, girls, is really good, and I really back you up. As an African, I really thank you.
And did you miss school when you work when you started your periods? Was that a problem for you, missing
Yes,
things?
I did.
Yeah.
Because you can't go to school when the blood is dropping down your legs, when you've got nothing to hold that blood. I've got to stay at home.
Yes.
I've got to stay at home and away from where men are. You know. But as I said to you earlier, I was the queen of designing the sand one. So I had to, help myself. But after that, you have rush between your legs, or even a dirty rag. If you have one, you've got to take care of it, wash it, dry it. That's why when you said you're doing the reusable sanitary towels, I said, well, it's the same as the rag that we used to use, because we wash them and dry them and keep them. But this one is more hygiene than the one that we're using, because it's just an old rag. But we use them well. We know how to improvise as Africans. So this one, we help them. And for not going to school as well, it's not only school fees that keep girls out of school. Sanitary towels as well keep girls out of school.
So do you have anything to add from your experience about?
I was just going to say, I said earlier, when I was at a boarding school, not everyone who was in the boarding school, because it was it was a mission school, not everyone had access to, we had people that were coming in from the villages to study. Also, they had problems with missing school because they couldn't afford the sanitary towels. And like I said earlier, it's taboo to talk about because menstrual cycle is related to sex. And in our African cultures, we don't talk openly about sex. But the pandemic of HIV and AIDS has brought people to open up, because people are going out in the villages, various organizations. Every other family has lost a family member through HIV and AIDS. So now they're starting to talk openly that this project that we're working with you on will be good as an addition to the education, because I think a lot of education at the moment is focused on HIV and AIDS, and very little on the reusable sanitary towels. A number of organizations have tried various initiatives, and various organizations from the literature reviews shows that there are other organizations that are doing things there, but because Zimbabwe is huge, they can't go to every village.
No.
So that's why our focus for us is in CSER. And then if it works, we can look at training other people in other areas, but let's work on this one first.
And to finish up, if condoms are free, so why should sanitary towels be a luxury to people? You see what I mean? So we've got us ladies and men who want to be involved. They should help us. We design our own sanitary towels, and be the change. It's up to you.
Yes.
We don't want to sit down and wonder why is it happening there. We want to be that change that we want to see in our communities. That's why we're standing up and joining hands with you and saying we have to rise. I rise forever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.